Konnichiwa, Minasan. It's Gray from Makazashi Tea House over Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you Genki? Have you missed me? Here I am again. Okay, I got a review of the new issue of Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue number 27, or Legacy 921, I think, if I'm reading that right. This was written by Zeb Wells, still. And it's got a change in the artist. It's Ed McGuinness on art, with Mark Farmer doing the inks. So the question is this issue any good? Is it going to drive you crazy? You're going to have a heart attack when you read this? I don't think so, because to be fair, this is fine. It's a fine issue of Spider-Man. We've got the follow-on from the shocking death from last issue. You must have heard by now, so surely there's no spoilers if I tell you. Yeah, Peter Parker is mourning Miss Marvel's death. So is Norman Osborn. It's unbelievable. I've got to say they're trying to build up like it's it's a big deal. Not hugely so, but there are things I'll be going through in the review, in my story summary, where you'll see like, really? There's not much else to say apart from, really? Scratch your chin. But anyway, focusing on the positives, as I say, a nice change in art, although I have been enjoying John Romita Jr., unlike a lot of people. I do like his style. But Ed McGuinness, he does a good job here. It's bright, it's breezy, it's comic book. We've got Peter and Felicia, Black Cat, she's back in it. We've got, of course, Doc Ock, because he's on the cover. Although that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in the story, does it, these days? We also have a return of J. Jonah Jameson, who I was very happy to see. And yeah, not a lot happens, but it's more kind of grounded. It's more getting back to the Peter Parker, simple crime, street action, Spider-Man, which we've all been missing. But Pete's not happy, he's not in a good mood, and yeah, as I say, I think they're trying to really make it out to be a lot more than it was last issue. Using a character with very, very little connection to the main character of this book, having her die in his book. Just bizarre. Anyway, let's get on with my story summary, and please keep watching till the end, because I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to show maybe about half of the book, talk about that, and then at the end I've got a very interesting comment on the letters page in this issue, which you've really got to see, you've got to hear. Okay, so please keep watching. Here we go. First, here's the recap. Warning, this recap may come with added sarcasm. The emissary, a mad mathematician who tried to become a god of death and nearly succeeded, has been defeated once and for all, but at what cost? Miss Marvel, for some unknown reason, made the ultimate sacrifice, giving her life to stop the evil plan. As she died in Spider-Man's arms, with Spider-Man scratching his head, she removed her mask, revealing her identity as OCK intern Kamala Khan. The devastating blow was felt doubly by Norman Osborn, who realised the young hero had interned at OCK to keep an eye on him. But Peter and Norman don't have time to sit with their grief and guilt when New York City needs the protection of Spider-Man and Gold Goblin, otherwise known as the Golden Power Ranger. The issue opens with Spider-Man and Black Cat swinging through New York City. They're chasing somebody. But just a minute, look closely at Spider-Man's back. What is on his back there? It looks a bit like a flattened Pokemon catcher. Felicia's telling Peter to have some fun with it because he sounds too serious. It turns out they're chasing someone called the Gauntlet, who, because I've not been reading Spider-Man for years and years and years, I don't know. The Gauntlet hits Peter with a blast, boom, knocking him flying. Must admit, I do like this art by Ed McGuinness. It's a great full page here. Then we get Felicia telling Herman, as she calls him, not to hurt Spidey. Why not? Turns out Felicia has baited the Gauntlet to attack. Wait a minute, this was a setup? Look closely while she's talking to him, and she's got a bit of breast-on-chest action there, very distracting. There's a little click sound as she's doing something with her hand, out of sight. The Gauntlet's not happy to hear this, and he blasts them both, but they get out of the way just in time. Don't antagonise him, Felicia. This job is dangerous enough. The Gauntlet tells them they're both dead. Goes to fire again, but... what the... click, clack. His gauntlets fall off. Felicia shrugs, pretending she doesn't know what's going on. Is this funny to you? This is my job. Now I'm gonna kill you both. Spider-Man punches the Gauntlet and he's screaming at him. He looks really angry. You feel better? Asked Felicia. This isn't a game, Cat. People get hurt. Like Miss Marvel? Yeah. Then we see in the background above Felicia, something mechanical is peering down on them both. Switch scenes to Norman Osborn back at Oscorp. Norman is remembering Miss Marvel's death. He was there. He watched her die. We get a bit of a callback to Gold Goblin issue 5, which Nick Lowe, the editor, is asking, you didn't miss it, did you? Yes, I did. Sounds like he was responsible for the death of Queen Goblin, but he's not being held responsible by the law. Then we see a quick flashback to that issue. Look at Queen Goblin, she's pretty evil looking there, pretty cool design. And we see Norman Osborn doing his old sneaky neck snap trick. Oh my god, I'm getting flashbacks to Gwen Stacy. Mr. Osborn, are you listening to me? Look at Norman's face here, I don't know what's going on. He looks like he's having withdrawal symptoms from something. Okay, then we switch scenes to Peter's apartment. It looks a bit shabby and grubby, doesn't it? You can tell he's not got much money. Poor Peter Parker. Peter sits down in his bed and he's got, believe it or not, Miss Marvel's mini mask, her black mask, in his hands. He lies down. He puts it on his pillow next to him as he goes to sleep. Come on, Zeb Wells. Really? Anyway, as he falls asleep, we see a mechanical arm creeping in. What's it going to do? Is it going to stab Peter? Is it going to gas him? Crush his neck? No, it's tucking him into bed. Oh, it's so sweet. We see the mechanical arms leaving the bedroom, going up the apartment walls onto the roof. Then we see somebody's leg. If it isn't my better half stepping out on me again. Here he is at last. Doc Ock. Otto Octavius, he's back. He's here. I gotta say, I kind of strangely like Ed McGuinness's weird interpretation of him. What do you think? It's a very exaggerated image. The face is pretty freaky and cool at the same time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the main story summary here, but I want to show just one more page. It's great to see this character back. We get J. Jonah Jameson. Here he is. He's furious. He's angry. He's screaming down the phone at a newspaper. It's the New York Bulletin. The headline says, Ex-Mayor rampages. J. Jonah's not happy. He's dropping words like wardrobe malfunction. Wow, that's a bit old, isn't it? Just to sell papers. How do I know? Because I used to do it all the time. And he's asking who gave this photo, who is the source. But of course, the New York Bulletin won't tell. Then we get a knock on the door. Again, this is where I'll end the story summary. I don't want to spoil what happens in this issue. Okay, there's something else I want to comment on if that's all right. Let me show you from the letters page. Now, this, probably just coincidence, but it feels like it could be addressing part of the video I made quite a while back when I was complaining about the letter column only publishing really positive, screaming praise letters. There was no negative criticism in there at all. So we've got a letter here from someone called Zach from Georgia. Zach, is it you? Oh no, it's Zach's. And he starts off by praising the art, which is fair enough, but then going down to the middle of the letter here, it says, something that bothers me is the letter column itself. I don't recall seeing anything but absolute praise. People who haven't read comics in 80 years coming back and reading the series has changed their life, saved their marriage, got them a raise at work. Yes, I'm being hyperbolic. But I haven't read this in years and now I'm back and it's amazing starts to feel a bit manufactured when we all know there's controversy with the title. Then Zach goes on to say, some from Korea whiners and perpetually online AI-esque lemmings. Who are you calling an AI lemming? That's what I want to know. But there's also legit critique as well. At the end of the letter he says, having nothing but practical butt kissing feels saccharine. And then the reply from Nick Lowe is, thanks for writing and sharing your thoughts, Zach. I'm pretty sure we've run negative letters during this run. Really? But I don't really have time to crunch numbers on that. Yeah, right, whatever. But there are a few things I want to respond to. This is Nick Lowe, yeah? He's saying, first, we do get positive letters and we get negative letters. We run letters that we find interesting or compelling. Are we biased? Sure, we're people. But we don't manufacture any letters. This is what I was asking in my video a while back, and I'm not saying he's watched my video because it gets 50 views, but I was asking are these letters real? They're so just saying the same thing over and over again, and you start to wonder, don't you? But anyway, just to finish what he was saying, we don't manufacture letters. I don't love that you're calling legitimate letters that we get butt kissing. Ooh, scratched a nerve there, eh? To be honest, we get more negative letters when I answer people on Twitter than after an issue comes out, which tends to make me think that they aren't coming from people reading the book as much. I think this is complete crap, but let's finish his comment here. Running this letter and ASM25 will almost certainly add to the amount of criticism. But ultimately, the letters we get or don't get aren't a big factor in our decision making. So basically, saying they don't really care what you write in, and we're just going to print the positive ones. He goes on to say, sales are a bigger barometer, and believe it or not, sales have been really good. Okay, give us the numbers. Show us the money. Anyway, thanks for writing. So, what do you think? Coincidence? Probably is, but you do wonder, don't you? I wonder how many negative letters they actually get that get written in. People take the time to, just type an email, really. It doesn't take that long. Of course, he mentions Twitter, where you're always going to get more criticism on Twitter, but it's rare to see them at least print something with a negative critique in there. But it does start out being a positive letter saying how much he loves the art, a big John Romita Jr. fan. And there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's my review of issue 27. So here's a preview of the cover for 28. As you can see, more Doc Ock action, more Golden Power Ranger, Gold Goblin action, and more Ed McGuinness by the looks of things. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Now please do drop a comment. Do let me know what you think if you're reading it, if it's driving you crazy like a lot of people, or if you're enjoying this issue. I'd love to hear from you, and I do answer the comments. So not much else to say apart from I hope to see you in a future video, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Okay, this is Gray from Makazashi's Tea House, starting off for the night here. Matane.